And we are settling in and we're focusing on the breath and we're following it from beginning to end. Using the exhales to settle, to soften, to let go, and to rest on the earth beneath you. One breath following the next. Maybe becoming aware of the gentle pause between the breaths. Focusing on the pause after the end of the exhale and using that pause to soften, to release. Maybe using the inhales to scan your body, becoming aware of any gripping or tension you might have brought to your mat. And using those exhales to start to release it. Maybe you'd like to set an intention for your practice or dedicate your practice to someone. Bringing that to mind, or him or her to mind. Setting your intention for your practice. Maybe 3 more rounds of breath here. Breathing deep into the heart space and exhaling completely. And with your next inhale, allowing the arms to float out, around, and up. And to settle here in this gentle opening, this lengthening. With your next exhale, allow the palms to float together and to rest at the heart center. If you're sitting, maybe you'd like to join us on our backs so that we can continue this opening with the spine supported on the earth with all its natural curves. With your next inhale, the right arm extends alongside your ear as the left arm settles next to the hip. Maybe reaching into an extended right heel as you flex the foot and just noticing the opening and breathing into that opening on the right side body. Can you soften a bit? Bringing breath and awareness and wise effort all together throughout the practice. One leading to the next. Exhaling, floating that right arm down. Inhaling, the left arm extends. Maybe the side's a little different. Extension might feel a little different. Soften through the elbows, through the wrists, through the fingers. Breathing into the left side body as you extend into the heel of the left foot, flexing the foot without an ounce of extra effort, allowing the body to open naturally. slowly with the breath as you explore the body and where you are today. Exhaling, that left arm floats down. Inhale, open up into T, expanding from fingertip to fingertip. Softening with the exhale. With your next exhale, gather the pit of the belly, let one knee and then the other draw in as the back of the hands float to the back of the thighs. Soften through the shoulders and the jaw and the back of the neck. Pause here. And maybe you want to move from side to side, rock from side to side, maybe not. Exploring what you've brought to your practice. Nice. And then finding stillness and releasing that bind, allowing both feet to float to the earth. Feet hips distance. Shoulder blades tucked underneath the heart space and away from the ears. The chin gently tucks towards the notch in the collarbone. Noticing a lengthening through the back of the neck and then release there. With your exhale, the sacrum is rooted to the earth, equal weight in both sides of the hips. With your inhale, the right leg extends to reach up towards the ceiling with a soft back of the knee. Just noticing what's there today, making some circles through the ankle one direction and then the other. Fanning the toes away from each other as you come to stillness, curling them in, working into those very small joints, so important. Nice, finding stillness there. Again, aware of the anchor of the sacrum to the earth that allows you to lengthen into that right heel. With your exhale, the knee floats towards the chest, thigh to belly. With your inhale, reach, extend the legs straight up. Straight is a relative term, right? Wherever your body allows you to go right now. We're just starting to warm up, right? Last time, inhale, extend, rotating the entire leg in the hip socket so the toes point out, crossing the ankle over the thigh, right ankle over left thigh. Exploring the body here, scanning the right side. Maybe that you have space to walk that left heel a little closer to the sitting bone. How does that feel? Maybe not. Softening that right knee away from you, but not forcing anything. Keeping the right foot flexed, maybe exploring, allowing both knees float to the right. As if you could stand that right knee up to the ceiling, the foot on the floor. Inhale up to center, slow, controlled movement with intention. Exhaling, gentle twist. Inhaling up to center. What do you feel in the back body? Last time, the side body. Nice, coming to stillness. With your next inhale, that leg extends one more time up to the sky, and then bend the knee and float it down to the earth. Extend the right leg out, and the left leg comes to meet it. Take a couple of rounds of breath here as with the legs straight out onto the floor, if that feels okay with your back. Just notice, does a sensation in the right side body, or is there any sensation? Does it feel the same as the left side? What do you notice? Very subtle, but maybe you notice a buzzing more in one side than the other. Maybe not. With your exhale, the belly gathers to root the sacrum to the earth, and the right foot steps to the floor and the left foot steps in. So the knees point to the ceiling. With your next inhale, that left leg reaches, heel reaches to the ceiling, foot flexed. And then making some circles through the ankle. Maybe you already noticed this side's a little different. Soften the back of the knee. Soften where the leg is so it feels easy. Reverse the circles. And then finding stillness there so you can fan the toes out and curl them in. Maybe noticing the difference but never judging it and meeting your body wherever it is. Nice. Inhale, reaching through the heel as you exhale and root the sacrum to the earth, rotating the leg in the hip socket so that you can cross that ankle over the thigh and then soften that left knee away from you. Pausing here, staying here, maybe having space to walk the right heel a little closer. Maybe not today. What feels right? Maybe keeping that left foot flexed. You're exhaling and rocking over to the right, keeping that left knee away, moving away from you. Inhale up to center. Exhaling over with the intention of lengthening through the left side body. Gentle twist to the spine. Starting to warm up the muscles. Notice what you brought to your practice, maybe one more time like this or not. Always the option of resting in the stillness. And then coming up to center and inhaling, extending, reaching into that leg one more time. And then bend the knee, float the foot to the floor, slide it out in front of you. Let the right leg come to meet it. And then just noticing the back body as it rests on the earth, the right side and the left side. Has there been a shift? Maybe. Do you notice? How's the breath? Your next exhale, one knee and the other, then the other draws in for another hug. Pause there, soften through the shoulders and maybe rock from side to side again. And then come to stillness with the palms of the hands resting on the knees. And the arms extended so the elbows are open, the joints. Let the knees fall away from each other, draw in towards the chest and together, and then away. Making circles in the hip socket, slow, controlled movement. Engaging the core muscles, the muscles that wrap around the ribs, the pit of the belly, to anchor the thoracic body to the earth without it becoming rigid. There's still subtle movement. And then reversing those circles. Or maybe you're moving the legs side to side and forward and back, not circles. Whatever feels right for you, just getting some movement in the hips and starting to get that synovial fluid in there. And then coming to stillness, allowing the feet to float down to the earth, walking them the width of the mat and floating them side to side for windshield wiper, maybe the arms extend in T or cactus, maybe not. Exploring a gentle twist. The body's relationship with gravity and the earth. And then floating up to center, letting the knees fall together, adjusting the feet so this happens naturally and all the muscles in the legs soften. They're not efforting to hug together. Maybe one hand, then the other comes to the heart space, the upper chest. Soften through the shoulders. Aware of the breath. And see if you can direct it to the back body. Drawing the breath into the tissue in the back of the lungs. Allowing the muscles between the back ribs to expand, to open. Maybe noticing the back body resting a little closer to the earth and then gently drawing away. Imagine the air in a balloon slowly being released and then slowly filling up again. Nice. And then allowing the knees to float up over the ankles again, walking the feet back to hips distance, arms alongside the hips, palms down. One shoulder and then the other tucks flat underneath the heart space. Maybe the elbows bend and the fingertips point to the ceiling. And then we can root the shoulders and the upper arms to the earth. And then we can find the rooting through the soles of the feet. And then we can exhale and hug the belly in, opening up the lower back. Inhale, rock the hip points forward. 2 more rounds like this. And then coming to stillness with a neutral spine, as if there were a string attached to the sacrum. Inhaling, it lifts straight up to the ceiling without rolling out of the lower back. Exhaling, rolling down. Coming up as your body allows, using the foundation of the shoulders and the upper arms to extend the heart space, to puff it up towards the ceiling and then the chin, exploring the back body and the front body. Waking it up, warming it up without forcing anything. 1 more round like this. Lengthening through the front body and then lowering down, a wave of action down to the earth. Nice. Let's roll over onto one side or the other. Pausing here to breathe into the front and back of the heart space, drawing the knees up in the direction of the chest. Allowing for your anatomy. And then noticing the breath filling the back body. Allowing the breath to bring a softening. And then exhale, gathering the belly, using the hands flat on the earth to press the earth away and draw yourself up at the same time, not just the arms, the core, bringing you up and then over onto all fours, taking time to pad your knees. If that feels better for you. Finding your foundation for tabletop. As you root into the palms of the hands, the arms become active without locking the elbows. The shoulder blades slide down the back, away from the ears. The pit of the belly supports the lower back. And then we can move into cat and cow, your expression of cat and cow. Maybe your expression of cat and cow are pelvic tilts today, or starting with pelvic tilts as you exhale, tailbone to floor, and inhale, tailbone to ceiling, and then start moving up the back body to explore a little deeper with each breath, meeting your body wherever it is today. Knowing that yoga should always feel good. Starting with the tip of the tailbone, holding the gaze to move slowly up the back body. The head moves last if you are moving it, either to drop the crown of the head to the earth or to lift the gaze forward and up. Being kind to yourself. Nice. And the next time you inhale, find a neutral spine. Walk the big toes to touch and the knees to walk wide. As we exhale, the hip points come back to rest in the direction of the heels. Maybe you place a prop underneath your hips, a block or a blanket. And then we inhale the heart space to extend away from the belly. And we exhale and bow down to the earth, keeping equal length in front and back body. And with your exhale, surrender to the pose. 3 rounds of breath in the stillness, exploring the stillness and the surrender in child pose. With your next inhale, walking the arms forward in extended child pose if you're not there. So the arms are extended but still resting in the shoulder sockets. The palms are flat on the earth. Keeping the hips right where they are, walking both hands over to the left, keeping them alongside the ears. Maybe breathing into the right side body. Maybe rooting into that right hand and exhaling, drawing the right hip crease back a little. Maybe not. Soften there. 2 more rounds of breath. With your next inhale, walk it back to center. Exhale, hips stay right where they are. We walk the hands over to the right with the head in between. Open throat, gazing to the earth, breathing into the left side body, exploring the breath. Maybe rooting into the left palm and drawing that left hip crease back a little with the exhale. Just noticing the difference between this side and the other. Softening where you need to, letting go of the effort. Finding the ease in the stillness of the pose. With your inhale, walking back to center and coming back up onto all fours. Knees walk under the hips. And taking some hip circles here. Hips reach back out to the side, maybe forward a little. What feels good for you? Keeping a long spine and then finding stillness there. With your exhale, the left hip draws to the left armpit and maybe you gaze over the left shoulder. Not collapsing the belly to the earth, but supporting it. And then breathing into the right side body. With your inhale, find a straight, neutral spine. With your exhale, left hip draws to right hip draws to right armpit. And then maybe gaze over the right shoulder. Supporting the back body, letting go of efforting so the breath can fill the left side. Inhaling to a neutral spine. Extending that left leg straight back, curling the toes under, reaching into the heel. Notice what you notice without judgment. How are your wrists doing? Maybe you're coming down to forearms. Shoulder blades down the back and rooting into either the palms of the hands or the forearms. Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe as you reach that heel and walk the toes away, you have some space in the hip socket so that you can inhale and lift that leg straight off the hip. Drawing the right hip crease back and in. Lengthening through both sides of the body. Maybe you experiment with inhaling, reaching that right arm forward without taking it out of the shoulder socket. Finding the ease in the pose. Exhale, the right arm floats down, the knee floats down. Shake it out, let it go. And then find your expression of tabletop today. Straight arms, forearms. Inhaling, the right leg extends back and we reach into that heel. Always the option to move it around if that feels good. Drawing that left hip crease back and in, support the back body. Reach into that right heel, maybe even walking the toes back or sliding them back a bit. So you have space to inhale that leg up without lifting the hip. Just noticing. How's the breath? Maybe you experiment with inhaling the left arm alongside your ear. Soften the back of the neck. Find that extension that works for you. Waking up the core muscles. Exhale. Float the arm down and the knee down. Walk yourself up to stand on your knees. Roll through those shoulders. Big circles. Sliding the shoulder blades up and down the back body and forward a couple of times. Inhale the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, let them drop down. Inhale up. Exhale, soften. Taking a shoulder loop so the shoulders slide up together and down the back. Deep opening across the heart space. The hands walk to the lower back. The hips stay right there over the knees. And we inhale and lift the heart to where the wall meets the ceiling. Shoulders slide down and under the heart, the ribs fan open. The curve in the lower back stays the same and we're not thrusting the hips forward. They're staying right where they are. The back bend comes from the upper body, opening towards the ceiling. Soften the chin to the notch in the collarbone. If this is too much for the back of your neck. Nice. Let the breath fill the front body. Nice. Inhale all the way up and then exhale down into your tabletop again and work that out. Cat, cow, wag your tail, let go of that back bend. So mostly thinking about hugging the pit of the belly up and letting go of that back bend without compressing the front body. Nice. And then if you want to use your blocks, you're placing them under your hands so that we can come forward. Or maybe a chair is even better for you. Makes it more accessible for you. Inhaling, the left leg extends straight back and we reach into the heel. And exhale, we draw the knee forward and then step it through. Soften the shoulders down the back. Inhale the heart away from the belly, long spine. Exhale, gather the belly, one hand and then the other walks to the top of the thigh, and we allow the shoulders to come over the hips. Nice. Find an easing point ahead of you. Inhaling the hands to the heart space. Nice. Letting the thumbs rest against your body so that we know we're coming into the twist from the waist up, not using the shoulders, the jaw. So we're rooting down into the sole of the left foot, the top of the right foot, We're drawing the left hip crease back a little. We're inhaling and lengthening out of the hips, ribs cageless, and exhaling, gentle twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Allow for some subtle movement in the hips. So soften, no efforting. Let your body take it wherever it can today. Chin stays in alignment with the fingertips so you know you're not efforting with the jaw and the neck. Moving with your breath, inhaling, exhaling, and then coming to stillness in that last twist. Soften through the shoulders. Nice. Maybe you extend that left arms back. Soften through the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen a little. Exhale, follow the gaze of that left thumb. Gaze over the left shoulder as you reach that left arm in back of you. Gentle opening across the collarbone. Nice. Exhale, draw that hand back to the thigh, both hands to the thigh. Inhale there, exhale, gather the belly to hinge forward to the chair or the blocks and step that left knee back. Let that side go. Inhale there, exhale, the belly gently gathers. We extend into that right leg, and exhale, the knee comes forward. We step that foot forward. Knee over ankle. Exhale there, one hand and then the other walks to the thigh. And we can inhale the shoulders over the hips. Adjust so you feel safe, secure, maybe walking that right foot a little wider out to the side. And then aware of that connection, rooting down into the right foot, rooting into the top of the left foot, drawing the right hip crease back a little, maybe. How does that feel? Maybe you can inhale the rib cage, front and back, straight up. Exhale the palms of the hands together. Finding a gazing point ahead of you will help with balance. Find the breath. It should be smooth and even. And with your next exhale, the heart space turns to the right thigh. And we inhale back to center. Moving through the core body, keeping the chin right there in alignment with the fingertips. So just experimenting with a twist to the right. Allowing your body to take you wherever it can today. Without efforting. The next time you exhale to the right, find stillness there. Root into the feet. Inhale, lengthen the ribs to find more space. Ribs slide up, shoulders down. Exhale, maybe you have space to twist a little deeper. Maybe you can extend that right arm in back of you. The shoulder is soft down the back. The palm faces forward and you're breathing into that space. And maybe with that next exhale, you turn to find that right thumb. Maybe the side's a little different. Find the breath under the left hand in the upper chest. Exhale there, one hand and then the other floats to the thigh. Inhale and exhale, coming to blocks or chair. Step that knee back. And then get some movement, shoulders, wrists, hips. What do you need to do to let that go? If you have a chair, you can plant the hands on the seat, Walk the knees back and find an extension there. Or you can bring the blocks up to a higher level and get that same extension. Reaching the hip creases back, opening up under the armpits, along the side body, the back body. What works for you? The arms are still in their sockets. We're not efforting in the joints. We're not forcing anything, not forcing a shape we're not ready for. The throat is open and the ears are alongside the arms. So the spine is long and in alignment. Not dumping the belly to the earth, but not tucking the tailbone either. Hip creases reach straight back. And we breathe into the heart space, front and back. With your next exhale, walk yourself a little forward. However you like to step forward with whichever knee feels better to come forward first. And then curl the toes under of the other leg. And step that foot forward. Adjust to hips distance. We'll walk one hand and then the other to the thighs. Drawing the shoulders away from the earth, together to the center of the back and sliding them away from the ears. Finding the foundation through the soles of the feet. Exhale there and inhale. Hinge all the way up. Shake it out, let it go. Roll through the shoulders. Nice. And then find your Tadasana, your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Rooting into the circumference of the heels. Maybe you notice with that intention, the muscles in the legs become active. And then the pit of the belly. And then the ribs have the support they need to lift up out of the hips, allowing the shoulders to rest soft down the back. And with your next inhale, the arms extend up to the ceiling and exhale, palms together to the heart center. 2 more rounds like that, exploring the rooting to the earth and the lengthening, the reaching to the sky without efforting in the joints. Feeling safe and supported. And the next time you exhale, find stillness there. Allow the hands to float to the hips. And walk the feet wide to the long side of your mat. Let the toes point out about 45 degrees or so. You can adjust as you need to keep your knees safe, right? So legs are active. Let's just explore our goddess from the foundation. With your exhale, the hips settle straight down. The knees bend and open out towards the room in back of you. And wherever you land, and then notice, are your knees over your ankles? Are your knees past your ankles? Forward or in back of them? Can you adjust your feet so that the joints are in alignment, ankles and knees? And then drawing the heart away from the belly, shoulders over hips. Nice. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Soften them in the shoulder sockets. Exhale, root into the feet and inhale, straighten through the legs. Pause there. Find the breath. Smooth it out. With your exhale, bend into the knees. Float the left arm, hand to the left thigh. Inhale, extend straight up. Exhale, float over to the left, any amount. Inhale, float back up to center and straighten through the knees. Pause there, soften. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, rooting into the foundation. And then opening up and bending the knees. Nice, floating that right arm down. Move with your breath. Inhale, lengthen straight up without the arm coming out of the shoulder socket. Exhale, float over to explore a stretch in the side body. Inhale, back up to center, press into the feet. Exhale, float those arms down. Pause here, soften through the shoulders, smile, just yoga. Find the breath. Can you find the ease in the movement without an extra ounce of effort? Rooting down, finding strength in the legs as they hug to the bone. Inhale, the arms float up. Exhale, we float into bent knees, left arm down. Inhale, lengthening and coming over with the exhale. Inhaling back up to center and straightening through the legs. Exhale, bending into the knees, floating the right arm down. Inhale, lengthening through the back body. Exhale, floating over to the right. Inhaling back up to center, straightening the knees. Exhale, float those arms down. Heel toe, step the feet together. Find Tadasana, find a gazing point ahead of you. Land in your foundation. Breathe into the front and back of the heart space. Smooth out the breath. The inhale's the same length as the exhales. Let go of any efforting in the body. Notice what you notice without judgment. Nice. And then walking the feet a little bit wider than you did in Goddess, if that feels safe. And allowing the right foot to point to the top of the mat. Oh, if you haven't gotten your blocks or you have blocks or a chair, put them so that they're on the pinky toe side of the right foot. And we're going to try 2 blocks, 1 block in the lowest height and the second block in the highest. So like making an upside down T. If a chair is more accessible for you, then you just have that there. Nice. So we're walking back to the wide stance. Always moving slowly, mindfully with intention, right? What happens between the poses is just as important, if not more important. That's where the journey lies. So we're rooting down with the right toes pointing to the top of the mat, with the shoulders stacked over the hips, with a softness and support at the same time. Inhaling there and exhaling, bending into the right knee. Nice. Inhaling to find your warrior 2 pose. Nice. Gazing over the right fingertips. Find the breath. Find the foundation. The strength in the legs that supports you and allows you to float up out of the hips. With your exhale, the left hand floats to the back of the thigh. Inhaling, the right arm straight up. Exhale, find that foundation again. Inhale, find length and space to come into your peaceful warrior. Allow it to be a slow, intentional movement into the pose. And then as you rest in the stillness, find the breath. Where do you feel it in the body? Nice. Exhale, gather the belly. Inhale, float back up. Straighten into that right knee without locking it. And you find that balance, soften through the shoulders. We inhale and reach forward through the right fingertips as we draw the right hip crease back. Maybe the hand floats to those blocks that are stacked there, maybe to the chair, maybe the chair with a block. What allows you to have the longest spine, the softest shoulders, the smoothest, easiest breath. Nice. Allowing that left hand to stay resting on the hip or the lower back, drawing the shoulder and the shoulder blade to the room in back of you. Inhale there. Maybe with your exhale, the heart space, the entire rib cage rotates towards the ceiling. Yes, maybe not. How's your neck? Gazing forward. Maybe you have space to inhale and reach through the left fingertips up to the ceiling, maybe gazing up to that left thumb, maybe not. The legs are strong, the core is supporting you and keeping you long. Exhale there, press into the feet. Inhale, float all the way up. Float those arms down. Heel toe the feet together. And stand in your Tadasana. Find a gazing point or softly close your eyes and connect with the breath and any sensation in the body. Maybe you feel a buzzing or blood pumping or a pulsing. Maybe, what do you notice? Maybe the breath has become uneven and you're smoothing it out. Becoming aware of the soles of the feet again and walking them nice and wide. Maybe actually you're turning to face the other way so you don't have to move your props, just placing the blocks or the chair to the left side of the foot. Maybe it's a challenge not to see me, to connect with my cues. Maybe you are facing the computer, your screen, and moving the blocks or the chair. Your choice, your practice, your body. What do you need today? Walking the feet nice and wide and finding the foundation you need to support you. Activating the legs without efforting, softening the shoulders down the back. Inhale there, exhale, hips straight down, bending into that left knee. It stacks over the ankle, not ahead of it, not to the inside, but more drawing to the outside, but still weight in the big toe of that left foot. Balancing everything out. Let go of what you don't need if it's too much. From the inner groin, rooting down into that left foot. Both sides, so that the ankle lifts. Again, take what you need, let go of the rest. Inhaling, the arms float straight out of the collarbone. And maybe we gaze over the left fingertips, and there's a softness to the fingers, but the arms are active, and the breath is smooth. Become aware of the foundation again. Inhale, lengthen, straight up out of the hips. Exhale, right hand floats down as we inhale, the left arm up. Pause there. Lengthening with our inhales and floating open into peaceful warrior. If it's too much to bend the knee, maybe you straighten it. Your practice, your body, each side is different. Nice. With your next inhale, we come up into Warrior two. Straightening through that left knee without locking it. Active through the right leg and into that foundation. Inhale, reaching forward through the left fingertips, allowing the left hip to come slightly back, finding the chair, the blocks, or a block on the chair, so that you keep equal length on both sides of the body. So you're not collapsing the left side body, so that the shoulders are still in alignment with the hips and you have a straight spine. Feel it. Root down, lengthen. Maybe that right hand comes to the lower back and you draw the shoulder, the elbow open, aware of that opening. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, entire rib cage floats towards the ceiling slowly to find your edge or not. Breathe. Maybe that right arm extends to find your expression of triangle. Breathing into that space, maybe gazing to that right thumb. Maybe that's too much for your neck today. Exhale, root down, gather the belly. Inhale, all the way up to stand. Float the arms down. Heel toe, step the feet together. Stand in your mountain's pose. Stand in the strength of the soles of the feet with awareness of the breath. Using it to soften. Staying in the moment, even as the thoughts start to carry you away. Gently drawing the focus back to watching the breath. Mindfully stepping to the top of your mat with a chair or blocks on their highest position. You can always use books if you don't have blocks. Finding your expression of Tadasana, feet hips distance, maybe even a little wider. Gazing point ahead of you. As we root down, we find length straight up through the crown of the head, and with the inhale, we extend through the fingertips. And with our exhale, we hinge forward as we bend the knees, maybe planting the hands on the chair or the blocks to find a long spine. Maybe blocks on the chair. Find the breath. Exhale, reach the hip creases back, maybe bend a little deeper into the knees. Inhale, hands to thighs. Maybe the heart lifts away from, yes. So not the head. The head's always right there, stacked spine. The entire body hinges up. Nice. Exhale, gather the belly. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, heart center. Pause here. Smooth out the breath. Become aware of the foundation through the soles of the feet. And with your inhale, we extend. And with your exhale, we bow forward, bending at the hips and the knees, drawing the shoulder blades to the center of the back. The throat is open, the spine is long. With your inhale, we peel the heart up, coming into your expression of chair pose. The legs are working hard. The belly supports you so that maybe you can inhale and lift a little more, maybe not. How does your back body feel? Root into the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, maybe bringing the arms all the way up. Nice. Exhaling, heart center. Inhaling, last time, out, around, and up. Exhale, bow forward, straight spine, bending at the knees and the hips. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly button, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, pit of the belly gathers, hip creases reach back. Inhale, heart space away from thighs. Maybe arms come up into cactus. Maybe not. Know the difference between efforting and easefulness, between challenging and moving too far. How's the breath? Exhale, gather the belly. Inhale, all the way up to stand and float the palms together, resting at the heart center. Release into that foundation, find the breath, smooth it out. Sigh it out if you need to. And we'll come all the way back down to the earth. Inhaling, the arms float down, around, and up. Exhale, hinging forward, planting the hands on the chair or the blocks, bending the knees so that you can step one knee back and then the other. Pausing here to find a child pose that works for you. So maybe if you have a chair, you're using it, you're allowing the hips to settle towards the heels, crossing the forearms and resting the forehead there. Maybe you're coming down to the floor, maybe widening the knees. What child pose works for you? Allowing the third eye to make contact with something, to communicate with the peaceful side of the nervous system. You're safe, supported. You can soften and let go of anything that doesn't suit you. Using those exhales to release, the inhales to restore, filling the front and back of the heart space. Maybe more aware of the space in the back body as it fills with breath. 2 more rounds like this. Exhale there and inhale to either sit up onto the heels, if that feels okay, or allow the hips to come to one side and the legs to extend or knees to bend. What feels good for you right now? Just interlacing the fingers, interlacing the fingers to the webbing, reversing the finger on top, so awkward way, and rolling through the wrists. Finding a comfortable way to sit. Reverse those circles. Shake it out, let it go. Let the fingers fan open and then curl into cat claws. Inhaling and exhaling, always aware of the integrity of the spine and the support that you need for the lower back. Softness in the shoulders, nice. And shake it out and let it go. Inhale, allow the fingertips to reach, open. Exhale, right arm under left. Give yourself a hug wherever you land. That's where you're meant to be. Honor the soft parts of your body. Soften the shoulders. Nice. With your next inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, left arm under right. Soften the joints. Breathe into the space in back of the heart. And inhale, reach one more time. Nice. If you're sitting on your heels, you're allowing those legs to extend out in front of you and shake it out and let it go. Roll through the ankles. Fan open the toes. What do you need to do? Let go of anything in the legs. Pedal out the feet. Nice. And then we'll walk the hands back, bend the knees, walk the feet wide, shoulder blades slide together, heart lengthens away from the belly, and we find our windshield wiper. Flexing the feet allows for more space, keeping the shoulders right where they are and twisting from the waist down, experimenting with that. Not forcing the knees to the earth, just allowing gravity and your range of motion in your hips. Nice. And then finding stillness there, walking the feet back to hips distance, one hand and then the other. Comes in back of the thighs. Scoot yourself forward if you're not at the top of the mat, so you can land on your mat. Shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, straight up through the crown of the head. Maybe you become aware of the sitting bones connected to the mat, the earth beneath you. Soften the back of the neck. Maybe you can open up through the elbows and float to the top of the sacrum. Notice what happens in the core body. You haven't dumped the back. You're still lifting and lengthening, softening the chin to the notch in the collarbone. Breathing here, maybe one hand and then the other can open. And that's where you're staying. Maybe one foot lifts. Maybe the other. Maybe the legs extend. I have a chair here. I can rest on the chair. Feel the opening and the lengthening at the same time. Interesting. Boat pose. Do you feel like you're floating? Floating on the breath and the rise and fall. Exhale, gather the belly. Let the feet float to the earth if they've lifted. Maybe rolling, carving out the belly. Maybe coming to the elbows. And slowly lowering down to rest onto the earth. Remember, I only offer suggestions. You get to decide what works for you today, right now. Move it around, let it go, rest on the earth. Find the breath and smooth it out. With your next exhale, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Pause there to soften the shoulders, and maybe you rock from side to side. Coming to stillness with the hands in back of the knees, drawing the knees away from each other out to the armpits. And then maybe the feet float up to the ceiling, being okay with wherever you are today. Maybe the hands walk up to the calves or the ankles. Maybe yogi toe grip is in your practice, maybe not. The shoulders are still resting, they're not efforting. Maybe you rock from side to side. Your expression of happy baby, different from everybody else's. And then coming to stillness there, allowing the soles of the feet to come to the earth, big toes touching, allowing the knees to open away from each other so that the soles of the feet come to meet in reclined butterfly. Then maybe the feet slide away from you to soften into the joints, the muscles, the back body, the front body. What do you notice? If you have blocks nearby, you can place them under the thighs or the knees or whatever needs to be propped. For 3 more rounds of breath. Deep breath in, softening, releasing breath out. Notice what you notice without judgment. or negative self-talk. Bringing the focus back to the breath. Easy breath in, smooth breath out. And with your next exhale, letting your hands on the outer thighs help to draw those knees up to center. Nice, and exhaling one knee and then the other in for a hug. Getting movement if it feels right. And then deciding, rolling bridges, holding bridge, coming into legs up the wall with or without a prop. So setting yourself up, tucking one shoulder blade and then the other under the heart space, palms face down with the arms alongside your body. Heels are walk in towards the sitting bones, the hips. We root into the feet and shoulders, soften through the jaw, and inhale, lift the hips up, rolling up into bridge. Maybe tucking the shoulders under a little deeper, maybe taking the hands under the lower back or clasping them. What works for you? Maybe you're getting that block and placing it under your sacrum and resting there and breathing into this supported bridge. Maybe you're rolling in and out of your bridge, experimenting, noticing, is this any different than the start of class? Without judging it. Maybe you'd like to come into legs up the wall and you bend one knee and extend that and then the other. Maybe the legs come a little wide, maybe the knees soften, and that block is under the sacrum if you've chosen to support legs up the wall, not in the lower back, not in the vertebrae that can move around, but in that fused joint of the sacrum that rests between the pelvis. And you're breathing there and softening. And returning to your natural breath. And when you're ready, you're bending the knees and floating them back down to the earth. And maybe taking a final spinal twist so that you're exhaling the knees over the hips and floating one knee and then the other over to the side. Maybe the arms extend out in T with the palms facing up. And you take a few breaths in this gentle twist. Breathing into the side body. Softening the back body. Maybe that means it floats a little closer to the earth. That also means it lengthens. The muscles let go of their grip. Maybe you're able to stack the hips a little further. Just noticing. And with your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling. With your exhale, one knee and then the other floats up to center and over to the other side. Coming into a twist here, and this side might be a little different. So you prop where you need to and let go of the efforting, honoring your body, allowing the breath to move peacefully. Fill the side body. Your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling. With your exhale, the knees float back up and you take any final movement to complete your practice. And then settle into our final pose of Shavasana. Covering up, propping. You can put a pillow or rolled blankets on the back of your knees, or place your lower legs up on the chair. Knees can stay bent, feet on the floor, walking them wide so the knees fall together. So many different ways of coming into Shavasana. You don't even have to stay on your back. You can come onto your side. Soften there. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Release into the support of the earth beneath you. Following the breath from beginning to end. Noticing where the breath starts and where it ends. Just a gentle pause between the breaths. Using the exhales to allow the body to become heavy. Releasing the muscles from the bones. Softening the space between the eyes. Allowing the eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head. Allowing the forehead to melt to the earth. And all the muscles surrounding the eyes soften and release. And the jaw softens. And the tongue slips away from the roof of the mouth. And the lips softly meet. And the breath is smooth and even. Just watching your natural rhythm. Observing the breath. Guiding it from beginning to end. Resting in the stillness of the moment. Even as we acknowledge the thoughts and honor them, and then we allow them to float away, gently drawing us back to the breath. Over and over again we practice. Letting the thoughts go, gently focusing on the breath. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth. Becoming aware of the space surrounding you. Gently deepening your inhales and exhales. And slowly bringing your body back from stillness with small, gentle movements. Softly rubbing your thumbs against your fingertips, wiggling your toes, maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. With a deep awakening inhale, extending through the fingertips. And exhaling, floating the arms to a comfortable position. As you bend one knee and then the other, just step the feet softly onto the earth, pausing there. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful. Noticing what your practice has given to you today. And what will you take with you off your mat and into your life? Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Pausing here to breathe into the front and back of the heart space. The breath bringing prana, new life, energy. Breathing into the wings of the heart. Keeping the eyes softly closed if that suits you. Use your hands to press into the earth and draw yourself up into a comfortable, easy seated position. And with your inhale, maybe we take one more reach to the sky. And with your exhale, the palms float together to rest at the heart center. And we lift our hearts. And we bow our heads, honoring that perfect light that shines in all of us, uniting us. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. May our efforts be of benefit to all beings. May all beings be safe. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they know freedom. And may they walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.